In this episode of Turn Left Here, we simultaneously start renovating our kitchen and preparing 24 Carat for her spring launch. Our 100-year-old home in Toronto needs constant attention, as do our 2 cats. 20 years ago, when we moved in, we did a minor renovation in the kitchen, but much of that work is now worn out. We've outgrown the storage space and long realized that the overall design needs a major rethink. The location of the fridge, stove, sink, and dishwasher have always made the space awkward. And the counter and valence slide on the opposite side of the kitchen are simply a poor use of space.
Hildy, come on!
Our plan is to flip it all around, swap the sink and stove placement, move the fridge away from the center to create more countertop workspace, then build the fridge into the opposite wall, surrounded with storage cupboards. Our love of cooking has really grown, so we're looking forward to remaking this space the way we want it. And of course here we are in the fridge, which is not where the fridge is going to be later. It's going to be over on that wall over there, so that we'll have more counter space, and the dishwasher will be underneath it. Well, the dishwasher will be where this is right now with a counter on top, so that'll be pretty cool. As you can see, I have to get on my knees to find stuff in this fridge, so the plan is to replace it with a split door fridge that has a freezer drawer in the bottom. In the current kitchen, we added a butcher block shelf at the end of the counter to make up for the lack of workspace. We love that extra workspace, so in the new design, we're extending the counter and cabinets to replicate that. Here we are with the sink. The new sink is going to go on the other wall over there where the stove is. The big thing here is that the plumbing underneath this part of the kitchen has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 turns. I end up having to snake it about every 3 to 4 months. Hopefully we'll only have 2 turns in the next one. Well, there's the stove, and the vent for the stove has to go up and across and get around a chimney. It's always been a problem for the venting here, so the new stove is going to go over there where the sink is, and of course then it's just a straight out to the outside wall. That's the outside wall over there. So we're hoping that all works out. Lori's picking out paint colors and trying them out on the old kitchen wall, so we are ready to get started. We'll be gutting the kitchen right down to the studs, rewiring, plumbing, drywalling, new floors, new appliances, you name it. We collaborated with our dear friend Don Ballick, a kitchen designer, who's rendered all our ideas into the concept. So we're really excited. In the meantime, we head down to Bath, Ontario, where our boat 24 Carat has been stored all winter. It's about a 3-hour drive away and very time-consuming to come here. We only have a few weeks before launch, so it's time to do spring maintenance whenever the weather permits. The reality of sailing on the Great Lakes is that we must store our boats out of the water every winter. On our list this spring, hull polish, bottom paint, engine tune-up, and lots of cleaning and rigging, including reinstalling all the lines and sails. For power, we use 2 12-volt lead-acid batteries, which weigh about 20 kilograms each. One is for starting the engine, and the other for onboard systems, such as lighting, refrigeration, instruments, etc. The batteries are charged through an alternator when the engine is running, and are 200-watt solar panels, or if we're on a dock, by plugging into shore power. Our gel-coated fiberglass hull is still the original gold color, which we try to preserve by waxing and polishing. Our CNC 30 Mark I was built in 1973, and its rich color still shines through once it's buffed. By the end of the season, she will look a bit oxidized. But for the first half of the season, she'll look nice and shiny. There are lots of imperfections in the surface, so we are tempted to patch and fully repaint the hull, maybe next year. For now, an industrial polisher buffing with cleaner wax does a great job. It takes all afternoon to wax and polish both sides of the boat. And by the end of it, my arms and shoulders are sore. Lori spends the afternoon cleaning and tidying the inside of the boat, which I did not film, but you just know she did a great job. Next time we come, we'll paint the bottom. Back in Toronto, we empty out the kitchen to set up a temporary kitchen in our dining area. We're planning to repurpose this counter and the cabinets underneath for the temporary setup. So that's weird. It's like almost like it wasn't. Oh, I know what they did. Our two cats, Fred and Hildy, are very curious about what's going on. I had thought that this countertop could easily be removed, but as it's covered in ceramic tiles, I can't separate it, so I'll just cut it. I'll need to remove some of the flooring so I can move the counter away from the wall for cutting. I'm going to cut it on the grout line, so I chop out the grout to save the saw blade. It's not the prettiest cut, but the cabinet with the top on it provides vital storage and counter space for the temp setup. We'll also use this little cabinet of drawers for cutlery and utensils. The next day, we delay work for the solar eclipse.
Everywhere.
I know, it's getting dark. I'm gonna have a little shot of brandy. Not in a snifter, but hey, what the hell. There you go. Happy Eclipse Day.
Woo!
Happy eclipse, Mr. Sun.
In the morning, we make pinhole viewing boxes.
Oh wow, look at that. Oh yeah, good. Wow. That's great, eh? And it's moving. It's just
The air literally becomes still.
and when it cools off, that's and you can feel it cooling off already. As it cools off, the clouds may dissipate a bit.
For a few minutes, we are plunged into twilight. Although it clouds over, the effect is still magical. After the eclipse, it's back to setting up our temporary kitchen. Setting up the fridge is the last piece of the puzzle. Cabinets and shelves, a table, an induction cooktop that we got online, and a really good microwave convection air fryer that will eventually be built into the new kitchen, which for now we'll use as an oven. We're really only just getting started on the rip out. And there's still lots to do on the boat. On this day, we're painting the bottom. Bottom paints have a special sacrificial formula that prevents things like algae growing and shellfish from sticking to the hull. Due to environmental impact, the paint we use is being phased out. So this is our last time to use it. The manufacturer has released a safer formula to replace this one, but this was filmed last season and at that time the formula was not available. We usually use 2 liters, but today we used just 1 to help lessen the impact. It's a bit of a stretch, but we will at least be able to cover the parts we need. Luckily, it's not too windy, so we don't lose too much paint to evaporation. And we are able to cover most of it. One final round of buffing with a clean buffer head, and it's gleaming. Every year we try to get some wax on most of the vertical surfaces. We avoid waxing flat surfaces as it would make them too slippery. The last item for this day is routine engine maintenance. I checked the oil last time we were here and it was still clear, so we'll wait till mid-season to do an oil change. Our engine is a Universal Atomic 4, a classic flathead 4-cylinder marine gas engine, originally based on the design of World War II US Army Jeep motors. It's pretty easy to work on, from this side anyway.
Just a minute.
It's over 50 years old, but I've updated it with electronic ignition and replaced a few other key components. Luckily, we can still get parts to keep these engines going. The last thing to check is the fuel filter.
Okay. Fuel filter. Fuel filter. Fuel filter. Fuel filter is right there. I always hate trying to take it apart, but here we go.
There's always a modest amount of condensation in the fuel tank, which sits here in the left side of frame. Gas gets pumped to the filter. It separates most of the water out of the fuel, which shows up as a thick, cloudy buildup in the filter. We only ran our engine for about 15 hours last season, which explains why both the oil and fuel filter are so clean.
And it was very clean. Just going to go back.
Well, 24 carats all buffed and painted, and the engine's ready to go. But there's still lots to do to get ready for the season. Up next on Turn Left here, serious demolition. There's something supremely satisfying about tearing everything apart.
If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all the latest episodes. Thanks for watching and see you next time.